microphone on. Okay. So I'll call this meeting to order for the Wells County Plat Committee for our March 19th meeting. And we'll start with a roll call. Jared Hahn is here. Bill Horan here. Lynn Huffman
here.
Is here. Nick Huffman
Here.
Is here. And Michael Lotzenheiser is here. So everyone's here. Minutes from our March the 5th meeting. Okay. I will second that. So Jared and then Bill, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, 5-0. Sorry, I didn't hear you the same time I said it. Okay. Are we going in any certain order, or does it matter? Development plan, staff review 26-03-02, Southern Wells Community Schools, proposed auxiliary gym. We got some pictures.
All right. We'll introduce the project and then we'll. Button up is on. If the, yep, there you go.
Oh, okay. All right. I just wasn't close enough. Southern Wells Community Schools is proposing, oh, by the way, my name's Carter Freet from Engineering Resources. Southern Wells Community Schools is proposing an auxiliary gym on their northeast side of their campus. Where else do we want to go with that? That's really it for that part. As far as stormwater is, and I'm going to talk about engineering stuff. Stormwater is going to be discharged or collected into a proposed basin and then discharged per the ordinances into the ditch that goes underneath the main entrance there. Sanitary is going to be collected and pumped in a grinder station to the west side of the school where the existing sanitary system is. And then water is going to be pulled from the building because of treatment for this building. I think that's it. That's all I have. Any questions?
And there's just a small area of proposed parking.
Yeah, there's an alternate for proposed parking. They haven't quite got back to me whether they want to do that yet or not, but there is a small area for some parking.
So this is not attached to the current buildings, right? Is that?
No.
Okay, separate staging.
We know how lighting plans for the structure.
I don't believe I got any from them yet, but I can ask the architect for those.
I guess on the lighting, either down facing or wall pack.
Okay. I don't know for sure, but I'll ask them.
I live 3.5 miles from there.
Okay.
I can see the glow at night.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Especially when the football field's slow.
You probably hear the game.
just saying. There are a couple adjacent houses across the road
Okay.
that if they can limit the amount of lighting that they put on the eastern side of the building more to the west, that's probably helpful.
Okay.
There's doors on the outside I assume they're gonna have a wall pack light or something over that, but. I don't think they did any of that.
For detention pond too?
Dry detention area.
Yep. Yeah, and we separate it from the actual ditch. They originally were fine with us incorporating the ditch as part of it, but we're like, gets kind of messy when we're including some of the road and stuff, so.
I know they have, and it's mainly north of where you're developing, there's a low area, they have kind of a drainage issue up there. Didn't know if the side ditch idea might, because I know somebody, maybe it was you that had talked to me about it.
Right.
That might help alleviate some of that problem too.
It looked like one of the the drain underneath the drive might have been filled, like,
Yeah.
so I think it's gonna be, we can put a note on there saying like, hey, let's clean this out at least.
And then, is there a sheet in there that shows where, like I assume stripping all the topsoil off, where it's going? Or,
I think I had it as, the contractor was to determine where that's gonna go.
sometimes spoiled dirt gets put a place that then it causes a problem somewhere else.
Got it.
Do you know if that abandoned well, has that been sealed off? Do you know?
That is a great question on that. We're not even sure if it's still there. From the house, I think it was a house that used to be there. So we're not, school,
Yeah,
so we're not even sure if it was, we can add a note to, yeah, so our note says, remove abandoned well by licensed contractor.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure if they do that, they'll probably seal. If
Yeah, we
they'll
can,
casing in it or anything like that,
Okay.
if they can't get out.
And this just goes staff development.
Yes, it's a staff item because of the size of the project compared to the entire
Okay.
site. The one thing for us to note, because of how financing for the property is, there's a property line that kind of runs through the middle of the design site. So, because that's not used for access, we would be okay with modifying setback requirements for it to allow the building to go over the top of it.
Provided that it doesn't affect their bonding and all
Yeah.
that, I guess. It's, I think we discussed that.
Yes, we did, yep.
Whether they wanted to move it, change it, do whatever
Yeah.
at the time, and apparently nothing got
Oh, I see, yeah.
done with it. But I guess I'd say it's probably their problem if it affects.
Yep,
the
yeah,
other
correct, yep. I don't have anything else, unless any other Plat Committee members do.
So, yeah, I would just recommend on that pipe under the driveway, make sure that there's a note that needs to be cleaned out.
cleaned out.
driven in there a few times in my life, and you can't even see a culvert, I don't think.
Yeah, when I went out there, it took me a while to find it. Lower spot there, but it's just kind of.
Years of my life there, so. My son's got about 10,
Maybe 13.
13, kindergarten.
It's in on the inside, is that what you're saying?
You went to Boston, didn't you?
Only Hoffman that went there.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, stop upstairs and talk to Susie about copies, and then we'll be good to go.
Okay, thank you.
Do you know when construction is actually proposed?
Do you want these back?
No,
Okay.
I don't know for sure. They want to change the plan size. We originally had it on like a smaller plan size. They want to change that. And a couple small things, and then obviously these comments. So I don't know for sure when, but I'll get with them on when we're gonna start that.
It's not important, I just,
Imagine whenever it stops going from 70 degrees to 30.
So never?
Windy, snowing, rain, one of those things.
June, you might have to wait till June.
it's all in one day.
That was in one day.
So, no, I don't know for sure, but. All right, thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up is combining item 2026-025. Oh, two of them. Jameson and Sheena Ringer Revocable Living Trust, so this includes point 26. A combining and then a major subdivision on 100 North.
Yep.
Okay.
So we had a change in project. So what we're doing now, so the two parcels that are the farm ground, they're getting put together. What we initially approved as an addition is being done as a minor subdivision, and be held under a different ownership than the actual facility. So,
Okay.
Move to approve.
There's no weird stuff going on?
now,
Okay. All right. Motion to approve by Nick and seconded by Jared. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, I guess.
Aye.
Okay, vote is 5-0 on both counts. All right. So, do you have other discussion on the record or not?
yeah, so, board members did pass out a map in regards to the proposed Wells County Fort Wayne International Airport Area of Influence Impact map. Sometime this year, we'll be working with representatives from the airport as well as the planning department for the city of Fort Wayne, Allen County, to help us put together an overlay district and standards for review in the 5-mile buffer around the airport. So a significant section of that is in Wells County, and so demonstrated on the map so you can visualize the black line there. The two larger pieces are not included in that. Those are additional restrictions, but not for what we're looking at. The overlay district requires communities to send permits and petitions to the airport authority for review. And then they provide in 3 days a review of those to make sure that they meet certain aviation requirements for that development style. The one item of note that they gave an example is in regards to how a pond is built to help to not attract waterfowl. So that is the process, but anytime we would have a permit or some sort of petition in that area, we have to send it to them and they would review it.
So, somebody wants to build a living room onto their house.
Yep,
That permit
has to
still
go,
have to go to them,
yes, has to go to them.
okay?
They review it, If they don't have a problem, they send it back and say, or the standard has.
What if they have a problem?
So hopefully, the way that the overlay district is that we would be able to guide somebody to what they need to look at, so that it would be specific enough that it's not, oh, you have to look at a large document that you have to pull up online to figure out how to comply. So that's the goal.
The thing that
Yeah,
I guess maybe would bother me a little bit is, I'm just gonna guess that maybe 20% of that area of influence is in our county.
yeah, pretty close to that.
And we probably have zero representation from Wells County on the Fort Wayne Airport Authority Board.
Absolutely, we do not have anything to do with that.
So,
I like where you're going.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I don't know that we necessarily need representation on their airport authority board, but if they're going to be telling us what people can and can't do, as long as it's not terribly restrictive and it's not a big deal, it's probably not a big deal.
Yeah,
But if it becomes a big, that's what I would like to see, those restrictions. I
correct,
guess,
yeah,
before we-
so we will here shortly be able to get a copy of what Fort Wayne Allen County adopted and start to digest what that looks like as far as what
I
is
doubt-
in their overlay district.
I doubt that if somebody wants to add a bedroom or add a.
No.
It's probably
And
not gonna be.
I was under the understanding it's not a height item, it's a design item. So things that, whether it's like waterfowl attractors or something that would maybe create glare or something to that effect, that affects aviation,
Sure.
that would be more what we'd be looking at. But again, once we get the full details, we'll have more information. Right now, we just have the boundary
I mean,
to understand where the impacts would be.
when somebody submits and we just had this discussion 10 minutes ago, somebody submits a plan, I guess, for like adding onto their house, they don't have to submit full architectural plans, and are they going to say that they do suddenly?
They might,
You know,
yeah,
that-
yeah. So there might be a different application standard.
Would it be an additional cost to the consumer since it has to
If
go
they-
through another party?
If they had to have,
They're not
Architect.
charging for that review.
right, but
Yeah.
if they had to have an architect design bedroom versus, hey, we want this 2020 edition
Yeah.
that an Amish crew's gonna build for you or whatever,
Yeah.
yes, there would be an additional cost. I
Yeah.
mean, not through us,
yeah,
not
but-
through the
but
airport,
through-
but just,
Compliance part, yeah.
it depends on,
Like mirrored windows
I
or
mean,
something.
like I said, once we get the list of regulations and how the overlay district is established, then we'll have a little bit better idea
Yeah.
what these impacts will be. But it will be a delay in permitting. That is it's
a few
3 days. 3 days
not
is
the end of the
is what they turn around for Fort Wayne Allen County, which is very busy. And almost all of Fort Wayne is in this buffer, or very large section of it.
Is this something that all airports are doing, or is this something?
Yeah, so this is coming from, they did this with Fort Wayne Allen County a couple years ago. There's been some laws passed that they have to get it done in all their areas, and we're the only one that they haven't done. So because the 5 mile buffer doesn't go into Huntington and it doesn't go into Adams or to the north of us either. So it is, like Jared said, if it's split 80-20, we're the last piece of that puzzle to get enacted.
and I understand it, I mean, it's for safety,
Yeah,
I get that, I just don't want it to be onerous on our landowners
yeah,
to the point that we have absolutely no say in what they're telling us.
correct.
Or that they have to start hiring an architect to draw up a bedroom or whatever. I mean, that,
Yeah. Because today we do not require the same things
Right.
for an application that Fort Wayne or Allen County does. So
if they say,
to know what level of different information. Is it a sheet of paper that you fill out, you can answer questions on, or is something more in depth than that?
now, You mentioned glare, so I'm gonna assume like roofing materials, that sort of thing, could have an effect on
Yeah,
that.
it could, and if that's one of the items, yeah, there could be a,
City of Fort Wayne and Allen County, I think, you know, if you're gonna put a new roof on your house, you have to get a permit for that.
yeah,
We don't
correct.
do that.
Yes. And that is one of those things where if, it could get interesting if they want to review things that we don't even look at.
Right.
We're gonna have
It's
a
either,
similar discussion as the impacts of House Bill 1001, which is also things we don't currently look at. Yeah, so,
at the same time that the state legislature is peeling
Yeah.
jurisdiction away,
Yep.
they're trying to add it, it appears.
Correct.
So,
for sure. Yeah, so just to be aware of it, as we walk through this process, we'll get more information over the next couple months here, and start to figure out what this is gonna look like.
Interesting.
Yes,
like I say, I get it, it's, there's a safety purpose behind it, I get that and respect that. I don't want it to become too burdensome.
yeah,
I think it'd be more applicable, like if you're building a 10-story building that's got glass all on one side facing,
Yep.
facing their runway or something, that could be disruptive to,
Some of these,
yeah,
and I've seen several houses and pole barns recently that they use like the copper colored,
yeah.
yes.
The
roofing,
Yeah,
yeah.
if,
I think it looks nice.
yeah, but if,
Are they gonna say, oh, you can't use that?
Yeah.
Or,
I know,
Well, we've had issues, remember that on the, was it Sunset Drive or something?
oh,
There was
the
a house-
BZA
there was
petition.
a house
where
that had a
the
building
house
out there that had
issue.
that shiny,
Yeah.
shiny roofing, and the neighbors complained.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's something that we're gonna dig into. The other thing is that evidently, when House Bill 1001 went to both parties to finalize, it really changed again. So the moving target moved massively. The strange reporting requirements are pretty still new things that are gonna be hard to accomplish. All the required things to do were removed. So, except for, I think we have to change our definition of an accessory dwelling unit, and we have to have a public hearing, sometime before before 2027.
so this year,
Yeah, that, that we look at our ordinances and try to reduce requirements on residential, and it lists the things that we have to discuss. And then still it keeps, if a community wants to do impact fees, there's a lot of restrictions on that, and then restrictions on a housing authority, both things we don't currently have, but if we did, there would be changes to those.
and I'm gonna say, in the interest of fairness countywide, if we're going to be reducing restrictions or requirements on just housing,
Yeah,
I think we need to take a look at all
yeah,
types of development. Are there things that we do that we don't need to?
yeah, I agree.
Something happened 20 years ago, the problem's been fixed,
Yeah,
that we don't need to.
yeah.
That,
And that's,
I think we
that's a
need to, I
good-
think we need to
that's
do
a
it
good-
across the board.
A good look at it. I think with the same, when we first do we do our first reporting on January 1st, 2027, we also have to report back that we've had this meeting. We have to include minutes from it. And unfortunately, it appears that each jurisdiction has to have the meeting, not just
Even
us.
though we're a unified.
Yeah, that it says each unit has to have a public hearing. So because it's the unit and we're the zoning authority, that means we're gonna go on a road show at some point in time, or attempt to try to have a combined public meeting. Which could be interesting, could happen, it's happened before,
Might be easier.
but to try to help everybody not do this 7 times, we may look at,
Or if you could have one at the 4-H park with the county
Yeah.
and the city of Bluffton and Veracruz and all that. And
Yeah.
then maybe have something around Ossian
with,
with
for Uniondale and Zanesville. That's what we were talking about
two.
yesterday in the office, if we could get it to like 2 or 3 meetings to simplify it a little bit. But otherwise, we're doing this over and over again, across across the board. Plus, we're gonna be the ones that collect all the background data anyways, so it's, to have each community say, okay, you gotta do it on your own would be pretty onerous on them, as well, so. But definitely, that's probably our biggest task, is to prep for that. The other thing is how we're going to determine new housing, whether it's apartments or new construction. How we figure out whether they're affordable and what category they fit into during the permitting process is gonna be really interesting. So because we have no information on what it's going to sell for or rent for, we will have to start collecting that level of data in some way to verify that it's under 80% AMI or 80 to 119 or 120 or over. We have to provide that data for every new housing unit built in the county.
So, and I forget who that all gets, does it get reported to DLGF or?
It's to the legislative committee and then to,
LSA maybe?
where's that at?
One of those acronyms.
What's the reasoning for it?
They want to know.
They want
what-
data.
They want data
Beat
that's,
up on us to say that we're the ones that are holding
Yeah.
up housing. So they need the data, so they're forcing us to give them the data so they can say it's our data. Is the short version.
I mean, they can already get the data.
not the way they want it, evidently. I know, it would seem that they would be able to use the same national data or even semi-local data like what you provide in your quarterly emails that you send out. That housing
Worked for the
sale
government
trends are
long
going
enough
up.
to know that
Between the
Yeah.
multi-listing service and Beacon,
they can get it, but they don't want to get it. They want us to get it.
Yeah, I
But with
think
like
it goes to three
the
different.
MLS, when somebody comes in and builds a new house, they're not selling it, they're just building it.
where Beacon comes in.
We don't know what that house cost.
Correct, but
build.
then that's where you use Beacon and the MLS. Beacon even has a comp search that you can use on there to do your own
Yes.
comps.
Yes,
you-
but that's after the assessor has put a value on it.
Correct. So like the MLS.
We have to
when
turn
you
it-
use new construction, you go off the square footage.
But we
You
have to
look at
turn in
what
the
average
data,
is that's-
we have to turn in the data before the assessor has to do the assessment.
Yeah. Which is, that's the tricky part.
That's the problem.
Very
first-
tricky.
Yeah, because especially any permits that I would see that happen in November and December, we're gonna struggle to get data from another source for. Which is gonna be interesting. Plus, we have to turn it in on national holiday, so it's okay. Life is okay.
So, I'm gonna ask this question, and maybe the reporting agency that we have to report it to will be a little more accommodating, I guess.
I'm hoping,
Is it something that we ask the question when somebody gets a building permit or whatever, and there's a no answer option, like,
Yeah.
they didn't tell us.
yeah.
They didn't
That
tell
is,
us what
that
it
is the
cost.
great question. What if we can't provide
Like, no info.
this info? Yeah.
We don't have it.
Yeah. And it is intrusive to ask somebody that's building an
Yeah.
apartment complex what they're renting it for.
And what did you rent it for?
Yeah,
Or if you're that person building a house, how much did you
Yeah.
build your house for?
yeah, correct.
Business.
Yeah. So it is, these are things that we have to start to figure out how much of this information is, but we also have to get this information supposedly retroactive from last year.
January 1
Yeah,
and-
from last.
And 25.
Yes, we have to submit 25 and 26 data in our first application.
So what if you don't?
I don't know. That's the great, that's the great question.
Do we lose funding? Do you get a little slap on the wrist?
I don't,
Do better next time?
I don't know, like if it's
More laws
in the
place.
future. I think
And
more
that's just-
laws are
That's
coming.
insane to add that much more work and steps for whoever.
Yeah.
Mass report, like, that's just, like, you already don't have enough.
I mean,
to
it's
do.
no big deal for us to tell you how many units, but we also have to go back to the assessor and say, hey, can you tell us how many homes were demoed? Because we don't do demolition permits across the entire county. We also, or if somebody changed a house into a business or combined a duplex into a single unit, we have to count those as negatives on our list too. So we have several items that we have to collect that are going to be really hard to get in time to put the report together. Plus, we got to go back through our data and break it out even further than what we collect for our annual report today, because we have to list them out by type and count each individual housing unit, not just structures. So we have a lot of things that we've got to work on the reporting part.
If there's anything I can help with on
No,
my end.
thank you. I appreciate that, because I think we are going to need to lean a little bit on,
Construction stuff.
if we're, especially if we're going to continue to like have to estimate stuff. That is, yeah, we're gonna have to lean on you guys to help us figure out what that might look like.
What I don't get.
Or
so
what-
like if
or what-
The apartments, like, say they're gonna say it's market rate. Well, market rate changes.
Correct.
So how do you,
Yeah, so what the request is that we have to determine whether it is, if it's market rate for higher than the AMI or in the middle zone, or if it's for low income. And I'm not entirely sure that that the rates of rental aren't different based on if you're going into an income-based apartment, that your rental rate might be different than their neighbor, even though you have the same unit based on your income.
it's totally different.
So
Can be different, yeah.
I don't know how they would be able to tell you what the rental rate, the end rental rate would be, even if it was designed to be for 80% or under, and be technically affordable, how Gorman's would be able to write down what their rental rates are for each unit, so that we could say that some of them are in the middle and some of them are low, and how many of each.
What if
So-
the apartments are empty at that any given time? Does that make a difference?
We just have to report one time about it.
Average?
We just have to report one time on it, so it's not like but we also need to report a year after year trend on rent and new housing prices across the community, so but we're not collecting that data for that apartment again. So once we collect it one time, then we're comparing it against next year's new apartments to see if the trend is changing, even though the apartments might be completely different from each other. And that's, yeah,
As this
Or
discussion,
size?
yes,
this bill was being discussed, I asked the question of, like, the assessors. So for a housing unit, you can use the rent-based, assessment
Yes.
procedure. If they give them that information, it is protected information.
yeah,
They're not allowed to share that with anybody else.
correct. But if we
So we
would,
can't get it.
yeah, we can't get it from the assessor's
We can't even get it
office.
from our own assessor.
Yeah.
Because it's protected information.
Yeah. If we received it,
Yeah.
if we received it on our permit, it would be public information.
Right.
It would not be the same data in two different offices be handled completely different.
And that's why I don't think they're gonna wanna give it to us because of that.
I'm not sure why. I
I
mean,
mean, some won't even give it to the assessor to.
Correct.
For their assessment
and
purposes.
even if it would help them out, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah,
Sure.
it's gonna be a nightmare trying to get some of the data.
Yeah,
that They expect us to get.
yeah,
You're gonna have some people, it won't be a problem, but you're gonna have some people that'll.
sure.
Fight you to.
Well, and I have a feeling that in some ways, there's people that would tell me what their rental rate is in a conversation or in a committee meeting, but would not write it down on a permit. And it's very understandable why you would do that two ways. One between, people, and then one on a public record document. Those are different things. And maybe that makes them feel like they're bound to a rental rate that they're that is also a unique conversation too, so. But yeah, at a minimum, the good parts are the amount of things we have to change in the ordinance by demand are down. But knowing that we have to report back that we made changes to the ordinance or not, and what we discussed at the public meetings still puts that onus on us to look at things that we can do to try to help.
So, based on the testimony and the discussion on that
Yeah.
bill, a lot of the things that they were suggesting, we actually changed in our ordinance
Yes,
5 years ago.
there were several things that we didn't have to worry. Setbacks was a big one we did not have to worry about.
Setbacks,
Yeah,
additional or accessory dwelling structures. We changed, and so, like I say, we changed that 5+
yeah,
years ago. I don't know how many years ago it was.
yeah.
But I think it's gonna, I don't wanna say it's gonna give us a black eye. We're not gonna have that many changes to our ordinance because we already did it.
So I think for us, if we were gonna like say that we made some significant changes, it's going to be whether or not you can do all different types of residential in all residential unit. And, our ordinance does need updating on mixed use. So we need to like potentially allow that as a permitted use in more districts, especially commercial districts.
And I think that is going to bite us all by allowing more residential units in areas that are zoned for industrial, commercial,
Yeah.
other type
Yep.
uses, because you're gonna have people fighting against building any more commercial.
Correct, because all of a
But
sudden you're
I think
living
that's a bad deal.
next to a warehouse, and then you complain when the warehouse expands, even though that was,
This might be a silly question, but I'm new.
yes, there's no silly questions.
Okay, is this for any rental, like a private rental, or is this just for new?
It's for
Like if
new
Bob has 6
construction,
rentals in town.
new construction.
So I'm gonna
We're not
use-
going
I'm gonna
back in
use an
time
example.
except for 2025.
I'm gonna use an example, like down by Packasack, Barkley
Yep.
tore down
Yeah.
a house or
Yep.
two.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
built 2 new. We have to report on those 2 new units.
Yes, correct.
And we would have to report that a house got tore down.
Yes, we'd have to count one as negative.
One's a negative,
And then
and
say
basically four
four
new.
units positive, 3 total. And those 4 new units fit into what
Sure.
affordability category?
Okay, but it's not, I own 6 houses that I rent out.
No.
All
No,
new stuff.
unless if you build one.
Just if you
Yeah,
build one,
yep,
okay.
Build new.
Yep, correct. So yeah, this is not, so far, we're not collecting stuff from historic pieces, other than permits that we did last year.
That clears the, okay, that makes,
I,
at first
So
I
in
was
part,
like, how
like
do
it-
they expect you to get all this?
I mean,
But even then, is, and this, I mean, this is not a slam on Josh Barkley. Is Josh Barkley going to tell you, here's how much it cost me to build those, and here's how much I charge for rent?
yeah,
Why would he tell you that?
it would seem like
I mean, and make it public to everybody.
yeah, that you were presenting your business model,
Exactly.
which
Here-
is,
Here's my plan, you know, here's how,
yeah.
that makes no sense whatsoever.
I mean, the only project that we have that level of information on is Premier Flats. And that is because Premier Flats has on their website what they rent those rooms for, and it was, there was public financing in regards to the project. So beyond that, you don't have that data
Not just
for,
I mean,
for a duplex or any type.
Cup,
Yeah, yeah.
Cup has built some of those,
Yep.
and,
Drew
Gerber,
Gerber and,
like,
yeah.
why would any
Yeah.
of them tell you, oh,
Correct.
here's how much it cost me to build it, and here's what I charge for rent?
Yeah,
It's not realistic.
yeah.
But the state legislature
They-
expects us to
they-
collect that information.
Even though I don't think they would want to give it for their own things.
Oh,
I
absolutely not.
guarantee they will. And
They will
so
probably be
next
the
year-
first people to complain about the invasiveness when they get asked the question.
Next year, that law will change because of that.
Yeah. They will figure out that this was silly.
Oh, oops,
I know.
In hindsight, yeah,
after you get
Yeah.
it all.
See where it's going.
we overstepped.
Yeah.
If I was someone, there's not a chance I'd be giving you information.
I guess that's how maybe I guess that's how we collected
Yeah,
is.
rental
like-
rates is one thing, but
how much you
Someone
spent
shouldn't
on the
have to
building?
tell you how much you built a
Yeah.
quad or a duplex
Yeah.
or a
What does that got to
single-family.
do with wanting affordable housing? Yeah, I don't care how much the
Well,
building
and-
costs, I care how much the rent is.
Yes.
Well, and like out on
Correct.
like 350 and 400 North.
Yep.
The houses that's been built out there the last couple of years. Why should I have to tell you what I built
Yeah.
my 5,000 square foot house for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just-
but even that is not what you built a house for, is not your sale price.
Oh,
And those are very different things. And so if, in the world of, I am getting my house custom built for me and I'm not buying from a builder, we never get to, there is actually no avenue to collect what that house is going to sell for. Because it could cost $400,000 to build a $500,000 for sale house. That's very much
Yeah, until it
the
sells,
process.
we don't have
You
it.
don't know what it's worth. You don't have any idea whether and we're not stripping out like land value. So if a house is built on a 10-acre woods lot, it's worth a lot different than the same house built on a 1-acre, lot in town. So there's so much, I don't know what data they're going to collect that's going to help them say that, oh yeah, we're making housing more affordable. Because
what it's
a
gonna
good
show.
percentage of our
all
stuff
this
is
has
custom
been
built
done
houses.
After a couple communities
Yeah,
down there, and that's,
No, I think what it's going to show is that houses, your typical house costs 300 plus.
yeah,
People aren't building $150,000 houses, and it's all our fault. That's what it's gonna, the data
Yeah.
is going to show is that this is the cost of building houses, and it's all the local government's fault because of
Yeah.
the rules and that's the reason it costs 500,000 to build a house. That's not the reason.
yeah.
It's because nobody's buying $150,000 houses, so
And I-
nobody builds them.
And I know it's not housing, but
Because you can't.
physically, financially cannot do it
dang it, Nick.
unless you are your own builder and then,
And you make your own lumber.
and you do everything. Make your own lumber.
Grow your own trees.
Yeah.
And it's like a 900 square foot house, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just, you
Yeah.
can't.
But
And there's not a
even,
huge market for that 900 square foot house.
well, and the 900 square foot house actually costs more a square foot than its bigger competitor.
Absolutely.
Because the utility line running to it costs the same.
Tap fees the same.
Yeah.
Everything, yeah.
The one thing that's really interesting, having this onus and looking at it from like what our impacts are locally, is that if you drive through our community right now, there's two gas stations that are being held up, not because of local, but because of the state. And where's the workload reduction, make it faster from the state? Because they're not happening. One can't get a stormwater line to cross over a road, and one can't get their NDOT driveway permit fast enough. So here we are, and we're the ones that get vilified for delaying and costing things. When in their stuff, when they get an impact, are hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Which one needs a stormwater permit across the road?
That is the one at Dustman Road. They need to put a pipe under the road to
Hook to the storm.
underground their underground storage to their sewer, the stormwater line. That's why it hasn't been finished yet.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, that parking lot would be completely done. So, yeah,
Which means Nick would be able to get his spaghetti sooner.
that's right.
And
Yes.
they really need to get on that, so Indiana, hurry up.
All right, I'll get off my soapbox.
Okay. Any other items for discussion before we adjourn? On the record, I guess.
Nope.
Okay, we'll adjourn at 9:45.
All right.